We're back. Another quick tip for you today. Let's say you're on a budget. Don't have a lot to spend, but you need to get yourself a property. You wind up getting something that's quite small. We've got to maximize that space as much as possible because the worst thing you want is a bad review. This small property is going to need some inventive and innovative storage solutions for when your guests show up with 4 suitcases. What's the first room you're going to come into when you settle in? It's going to be the hallway. You're going to need somewhere to put those coats, put those keys, put those shoes. Possibly just a shoe rack. Maybe you want to have some kind of bench thing that they can set things down on. Or possibly a little floating shelf. There is, of course, a downside to those floating shelves. They're not designed to take too much weight. And sometimes people like to put things on that are too heavy. Maybe you don't want a full umbrella stand. Maybe you just like a couple of hooks on the wall and hang a coat. After your guests have been through the hallway, they're probably going to want to put the stuff down in the bedroom. Now, you want to make as much space for them as possible, especially if this thing's going to be a little tight. One of the best ways to do that, low-cost Ottoman frame bed, available just about anywhere. Once your guests have started to settle in and unpack, they're going to want somewhere to put those suitcases so they don't fall over them every 5 seconds. Best way for them to do that is on a luggage rack. No problem, no fuss. In fact, if you have a wardrobe, you could even store it in there so it's out of sight too. One of the great ways to simplify spaces in the bathroom is to add a dispenser straight to the wall. No fussing about with bottles, no nonsense. It's right there. They just push the button and go. Real simple. How about some other great solutions? You want to store the toilet rolls. You can get these rather tall units. They tend to be pretty effective. You don't want to have a radiator and towel rail if you combine them together and have a heated towel rail, right? That just makes sense. Washing those hands has made you mighty hungry. So maybe it's off to the kitchen with you next. One of the good ways to solve problems with counter space being an issue is to eliminate the knife block. Why not just stick it on magnetic strips straight on the wall? One of the ways you can maximize space, especially when you don't have very much of it, is to think vertically. Is there space on top of cabinets? Can you put shelves up anywhere to give you an extra space up high? Are there any other solutions like that you can think of doing? There's probably some way in which you can make your kitchen more efficient. After they've got themselves something to eat, they're probably going to want to chill out for a bit. So it's going to be to the living space. Here's a nice solution for you. Sometimes you get these corner grip sofas that have storage underneath them. Why have a TV stand if you can mount it on the wall? If you have nested tables, when they're all compacted, they only take up a small amount of space. Was this helpful for you in any way? Check the comments. Talk to us. Hear what we have to say. We've made more tips too, so go check the rest of them out.